Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure. Let's say you procure or somebody gives you one of these China quads and you realize that you have no spark. There's a decision you got to make. You got one of two choices. You could take a look at the ignition system, and if there's enough of it there, you could do some troubleshooting, and I'll show you how to do that in another video. Or you can walk up to it and just say, you know what, I'm not going to mess with this. This is just too screwed up. And if that's the case, you could do what I call the pit bike hack. It really doesn't matter if you have a 110cc motor or a 350cc single-cylinder motor, single-cylinder for this whole discussion. They're basically use the same ignition system. You have a spark plug that you have to get a spark to at the right time, when the piston is in the right place with the right fuel mixture, and the thing will run. It's that simple. So a pit bike ignition is basically the same thing as this ATV ignition or a three-wheeler ignition. They're all basically the same. So if you get a pit bike, or you get an all-terrain vehicle, or even if you get a Honda three-wheeler, whom it appears as if the China ignition was copied from. Anyway, if you get any of those things and you have no spark, you need to get it started, let me show you what you do. The first thing is you order this pit bike ignition. And it comes like that. You can see all the nice little components. And I've bought a lot of them from, I've bought several from this person. Now this comes from China, so it takes a little while to get to you, but they're cheaper. They're only 16 bucks each, plus sales tax now that our friends at eBay doing sales tax. So you get the harness, the on and off switch, the CDI, you even get a spark plug and a coil. Not bad for, 16, 17 bucks, whatever it comes to with tax. But that's the search you use. And anyway, once you do that, this is what shows up. I've obviously thrown some extra stuff in here. So you get, that's a 4-pin. So this is a DC one. I should say it right on there, and it does. So you put that aside. This is the one that comes with it. It's a 5-pin. You got your spark coil. They throw in a spark plug. And you got your harness right here. Now, how hard is it to hook up? Put most of this aside for now. Like the on and off switch, you put that aside. You don't need that. You don't need that right now. And we'll look at the coil in a minute. So there's your CDI, and where do you plug it in? You take a quick look at the wires. You can see the blue and white, the black and white, the green, the black and yellow, the black and red, and you go, oh, this probably plugs right into here. Not that difficult yet, eh? Then you got your spark coil, and you take a look at the wires, and you very quickly realize that they plug in. So the spark coil plugs in, once again, green to ground, and black and yellow to black and yellow. Believe it or not, you're almost there. There's not a lot more to do. About these connectors, these are just a pair of off switches. See the green, which is ground, and the black and white, and once again, green, ground, black and white. One of these would go to a key switch, and the other one could go to this. But let's not worry about turning it off, because quite honestly, we don't care about turning it off. So all you have left are these 3 wires. Green, ground, you got to hook it to the quad body, ATV body, pit bike body, motor, engine really. You have the blue and white, goes to the stator, and the red and black, or black and red, they go, the blue and white goes to the pulse generator. Correct that, blue and white to the pulse generator. And the black with the red stripe, that goes to the stator. Unfortunately, the connectors they put on here really will not work on that bike that has a slip-on connector. So our wire harness is all built, and it's just a matter of making 3 or 4 connections to the bike, hook up the spark plug, and we're all ready to go. On this particular bike, there are 2 sets of wire harnesses that appear to be coming from the stator. But if you notice, this one's kind of more in the back, and it's got a bunch of weird colors on it. What the one in the back is actually doing is it's telling you what gear you're in. Right now it says, where are we? 0. That means you're not in any gear. You're not in forward, you're not in reverse, and you're not 1, 2, and 3. Ignore that or unplug it, whatever you want to do with that. Probably, if everything is functioning, just leave it alone. Here's the second wire harness. And once again, you want to be on the engine side, because if you're messing with that wire harness, it's not going to do you any good. Once again, you push the pin in, slide that out. Better done with 2 hands, obviously. And you have the connections right here. The only bad thing is you have, those are known as bullet connectors, and in here you have slide-on connectors. I'm just going to cut the bullet connectors off and slip the proper wires in here. You go strictly by the color coding and not worry about anything else. One of the bad things about sliding this off, though, do note that you've lost yellow, which is how you charge your battery. The yellow and white come up here, right? They go to your voltage regulator and charge your battery. Once you slide this off, you're no longer charging your battery. But you notice you have the same exact colors, right? Your black and red, your green, and your blue and white. So I cut the bullet connectors off, and I left enough of the connector on there that I was able to slide it in there. They're not in there well, but they're in there enough to function. Notice I ran ground to the spark plug, and let's see if I can't show you that we now have spark. To be honest with you, from my angle I can't see, but you guys can see that, right? So you can see we have spark. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the spark plug in. I'm going to give this thing a quick start so I could show you this whole thing works, right? It's very easy to play mad scientist, but it's quite another to actually show you that it functions. So as you can hear, it's running on the pit bike ignition system. So that's the pit bike CDI, the whole ignition system. I even put in the on and off switch. That easy. What I'm going to do next is, so this is the CDI from the pit bike. I'm going to put the original one in there, and I'll show you it'll run on that. The nice thing about this is the only things we're using from the engine is the stator coil and the pulse generator, right? And ground, obviously. Everything else, the spark coil, the CDI, the harness, the on and off switch, everything else we've provided. So assuming your stator is alive and your pulse generator is alive, this CDI works beautifully. Here it is, a quick start on the original CDI. Oh, excuse me. So here we have it running On the original CDI, I took the pit bike one off. And to be honest with you, it started a tad easier. If I had to guess, this might be a little advanced for it, right? Each engine is a little differently. This might be a little bit more high performance than the original. But, I mean, she runs just fine. So, here's a simple way of bringing back a bike with a hacked ignition. And once again, how hard is it to turn off? That hard. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this video here. And what I'm going to do for the last video on this bike is we're going to put in the 12 volt ignition module. That's going to require a couple of wire changes. Not hard at all to do, but it is going to require something just a tad different. And I'll show you how to do that also. So given that this is ending here, I want to thank everybody for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. Please remember to keep your feet down, your heads up, and get out and enjoy each and every day now. Bye.